Rebreathers can be great tools for diving. And I wanted to put together a little bit of information, if you were interested in getting started with rebreathers, on how to enter the rebreather world. To start off, we need to understand that rebreathers are not necessarily safer than open circuit diving. The risks versus benefits of a rebreather really depend on the dive. There's a misconception that rebreathers are safer because they give us more time, and that's absolutely true. If we were underwater and we got lost or trapped, having more time to solve problems is great, but rebreathers also have very unique risks. For example, if we're on open circuit with a single tank on our back and a regulator in our mouth, breathing air from the cylinder that we've analyzed, our chance of having a hypoxic event is very, very low. It's pretty much irrelevant on the surface with open circuit, assuming that we've analyzed the gas and we have a proper gas mixture. And that's not true with the rebreather. It's very plausible and possible to go hypoxic on the surface on a rebreather. That's just one example. There's plenty of others, and there's a number of articles that go through the risk of rebreather diving. But rebreathers are most appropriate for diving and diving situations where the logistics of open circuit diving aren't feasible. Now, there's an important caveat here. If we have dives that are most appropriate for rebreathers and dives that are most appropriate for open circuit, and we're learning to dive a rebreather, we're going to be using the rebreather in environments where open circuit might be preferable. And that's so we can get experience and hours on the unit to get comfort with it before moving into those dives where a rebreather is required or almost required. When it comes to getting started with the rebreather, and if you've done a little bit of research, you may have seen the mod nomenclature, the module nomenclature. There's mod 1, mod 2, and mod 3. And this is generic nomenclature. I don't know of any training agency that actually uses the mods. And what this generic nomenclature is trying to convey is we have mod 1, which is our entry-level course. That's our first rebreather class. We have mod 2, which is a 200-foot or 60-meter deep class, and mod 3, which is 330 feet or 100 meters. That generic nomenclature is helpful, not only because we have different agency terms for mod 1, 2, and 3, but also at the mod 1 level, we have a couple of different paths that we can enter with. So when we're talking about a mod 1 course, so our first rebreather class, there's two camps that people typically fall into. Camp number 1 would be individuals who are experienced divers who say, hey, I want to go dive a rebreather for these dives in the future, but I want to get on the rebreather soon, get experience on it, and then transition into technical diving on the rebreather. Now, people that are in this camp are either not technical divers or they're technical divers with little tech diving experience. And what this allows them to do is get on the unit, build time and comfort on the rebreather in the recreational world, and then learn how to tech dive on the rebreather with an upgrade later on. Camp number 2 would be people that are very experienced technical divers who are ready to take the rebreather into the technical diving environment. Now, these experienced technical divers are going to go from open circuit tech diving directly into technical diving on the rebreather. It's super important to understand that this is really about experience as a technical diver. If you're a decompression procedures certified diver, technically you could enroll in that second camp course. However, you're not going to have the experience to lean on during the class to have success. So it's really about being an experienced technical diver in order to transition from open circuit tech directly into rebreather tech diving. Now, when we start to look at actual certification cards, when we're talking about TDI, we have air diluent, which would be those Camp 1 folks getting time and experience on the rebreather before transitioning into deco diving. And that's air diluents. We have air diluent deco and heliotrox deco. Now, air diluent deco and heliotrox deco are pretty much the same class. It's just heliotrox allows trimix to be used in our diluent, whereas air diluent does not allow that trimix use. The heliotrox program is absolutely the better of the two, and we should only look at doing an air diluent deco course if we're in a location that just does not have trimix at all. And even in that situation, we're going to want to limit our dives to much shallower dives because we don't have that benefit of trimix. If we assume that we're Camp 1 folks, we start with the air diluent course, we go get a lot of experience on the rebreather, then we can upgrade to one of those other higher mod 1 courses once we have that experience down and we're comfortable in the unit. A common question that I get is, hey, what's better? Should I get on the rebreather sooner, or should I be an experienced technical diver and then transition into the rebreather? Absolutely, my answer to that question is the second group. Individuals who are experienced technical divers, and I don't mean having a certification, I mean doing hundreds of technical dives. They have the best success transitioning into that rebreather. They are familiar with what kind of discipline and organization tech diving requires, and they have a better ability to get on the unit and go have fun after the class. Being an experienced diver, period, helps you out. However, being an experienced technical diver is going to help you out leaps and bounds more. Now, that option for air diluent is absolutely still there. That is valid. Some people don't have that experience. They want to get on the rebreather sooner and build up more experience on the unit. And that's why it's an option. And whether we're going in as a DECO certification or a non-DECO certification, the course is pretty much the same lengthwise. You're looking at about 6 days with a lot of in-water time, usually in excess of 7 hours, to earn that certification. Now, another term you may hear is crossover, and that's where you take a rebreather mod 1 class, you get some experience on the unit, maybe you want a different rebreather for some reason, you do a crossover course. Now, the crossover course is a shorter course, and that way you're not doing a full mod 1 entry-level class switching to a new unit, because you already have the concepts and some experience with rebreather diving. Now, when it comes to mod 2, mod 3, and things like cave diving or cave crossovers, I'm going to push that off to another video and an article or something where I can cover it more thoroughly. But what I've run through today is the understanding that rebreathers are not necessarily safer. Talking about mod 1, 2, and 3, so the modules, that generic nomenclature, reviewing the 2 different camps of coming into rebreather diving, and then the specific certifications that the TDI world has for those, which is air diluent DECO, and Helitrox. So hopefully that intel helps you out if you're interested in rebreathers. Obviously, if you want more information or some specifics, give me a holler, and thank you for watching.